We got this YFZ 450, the electric start edition. It's a really nice bike. So this bike came over here with some problems. Came with a couple of problems. So the first problem was that every time you turned it on, it only had you could only turn it on once, and then it would stop working. The starter button would stop working, and it wouldn't turn over. I mean, it would turn over, but it wouldn't turn on anymore. So what I did there was I went and disconnected this switch right here, and then I just cleaned off the little start button, the little switch button, and I opened it up, cleaned it with some DW40, and then it worked. And then it worked perfectly fine after that. So we were able to start it whenever we wanted to. But then we got it starting, and then I had another problem that once it ran really bad. Took the carburetor apart, and then I inspected it, and I think since he has an aftermarket exhaust, it wasn't jetted right. It was jetted too low for it, so it would bog out at like anywhere from medium to high throttle. It would bog out, and then so I went ahead and put a bigger jet inside, and now it works better. It works a lot better now. And then the other problem it had as well is that they did the oil change, and then since they did the oil change on it, they never put the oil inside the case house. They just put it inside the little reservoir, and whenever you would start it and run it and then check the oil, it would just overflow pretty bad. I went ahead and just did a new oil change for him, and then the oil change, the oil cap or the oil thing is right here underneath the neutral switch. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right there. And make sure you guys take off the bolt underneath this reservoir as well. There's one bolt underneath, so you'll do two, and then I would put one. It just depends if you guys new oil filter or no oil filter, but with the new oil filter and everything, I think it asks for 1.2 liters of oil in there, and then the rest goes in here. So you'll need like 2 quarts, I think. And then so you'll just do it with your dipstick. Just check the filler thing. So we got that going, and then it worked perfectly fine for like about a week for the customer. I have this bigger problem now. So, and then I've noticed that it's pretty often on the YFZs. I've looked it up, and I see a lot of people having the same problem. So if you go to the key and you want to just press start it, it doesn't do anything. It just, the little switch comes on and it clicks, right? So that's what we're gonna figure out today and see what's going on here. But the lights won't even work, no nothing. So yeah, we'll see what's going on here, and then we'll run some couple tests and see what we get. First test that I would do, so I got my multimeter, power it on. So I'll do the little sound thing right here, the little, I don't know if you guys can see that, it's the little sound where it's like a little Wi-Fi thing. So I'm gonna check for ground first and see if we're getting good ground to the bike. So let's do that. My black lead, I would put it down to the ground. So I'll do that, and then this lead, we'll do it anywhere into the engine. As long as we get good ground, you should hear a noise. You should hear a noise, and then we'll know that that's good ground. So oh shit. Okay, cool. And then that's good ground. So we are getting a good ground. So we'll do to the actual so we are getting a good ground to the bike right now. So we are reading good. And then so I'm gonna check this to the post, to the black post, to the starter. So I'm gonna check it right here, see if we get good ground to the engine, so we are getting good ground. You guys hear that? So okay, so that's my first problem. Okay, so that's the first one, so that's good so far. So okay, another test we can see is because we're not getting anything, so make sure it's running. So let's test if it has 12 volts, the battery. Make sure it has good 12 volts. So we'll put it here, and then we'll actually get it right here. We'll start right here, black and red to red. That's great voltage, so it's not my battery for sure. So now let's check the ground to this relay box. Make sure we are getting good ground. So again, we'll put it right there where the Wi-Fi thing is at, the Wi-Fi thing right there. So make sure we're getting, so I'm not getting anything. Let's see if we're getting positive. If we're getting, okay, so we are getting 12 volts to it. We're getting 12 volts, so that's good. Go again here. So 12 volts. Okay, we are getting good ground here. I mean, yeah. So let's test it for some voltage. Okay, we are getting 12 volts to this relay, so that's good. So that's how we know we're doing good. So we'll go here. Yeah, 12 volts here. So these are getting 12 volts, so that's good. Okay, so we know we're getting electric, we're getting what we need on that. So another test we can do is bypassing the whole relay switch or anything like this to make sure it's not this. Get a screwdriver, and you can just leave the two posts, and it should crank over the engine. So let's try that, see if that works by any chance. Yeah, that don't work. So we're not getting anything. It should have sparked and cranked over the engine, so that's not good. So let's see why we're not doing that. Okay, that's not good. So we're not, so something's going on here. Let's check the fuses. So the way you can check the fuses is same thing. The way you can check your fuses is same thing. Putting your multimeter to the little Wi-Fi thing, and then so one end to the other end, and if it beeps, they're good fuses. That's good. Now that's good. So our fuses are good. So let's try again. Nothing. So let's see if we're getting let's see if we're getting 12 volts to this relay switch. Let's see. Yep, we are. That's good. That's inspect. Cool. Yeah, you see? Boom, boom. Yeah, we're getting 12 volts to it. So maybe it can be the starter relay, I mean the thing right here, but there's really no way to know if this is good or not. You just gotta take a chance on it. But I don't think that would be the case, because if this was out, it wouldn't even pop the little fuse right here, or it wouldn't make that sound. So I don't think this is. So okay, so another thing we can do is same, go to our actual starter. So so we would do so same thing, we'll do black, we'll do here black with black, and then we'll do this red. We're gonna put it, let's see, we'll put our little thing right here, and then this red will go to this post right here, to the starter post, and then when we press the start button, it should give us 12 volts. So let's try that, see if that works. So let's put this black right here, black, see if the black works. Okay, so okay, boom, to starter, press the start, boom, we're getting 12 volts. Can you guys see? Maybe it might be a little dark for you guys. 12 volts. So we're getting 12 volts to that starter, to the starter. So what I'm thinking is that the conclusion maybe that my starter might be bad. So another way we can test that out is I got this probe. I got this little probe, and it sends positive and negative, whatever you want. So I'm gonna connect this to the battery. So I'm gonna do black to black, black to black. Okay, black to black, and then I'm gonna do red to red, red to red, and then so you can see the battery. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Okay, yeah, the battery has 12.9 volts, so it reads the battery on it. So this is the ground, so you gotta ground it off. So you can put it to anything, as long as you have ground. So I'll put it onto this bolt right here, onto the engine bolt, so it should have ground there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give 12 volts directly to the starter. So if my starter is good, it should crank it. But if my starter is bad, I don't think we're gonna hear anything. So let's try it now. So with this, all right, ready? Can you guys see that? Ready? Boom, nothing. So starter inside is bad, because I'm giving it 12 volts and I should have something. I should have it should crank over at least, but I'm not getting anything. So it's kind of hard to see. So boom, that's giving it 12 volts and nothing. You guys see that? So I think my starter might be bad. Yeah, another way you can test this out is if you get some cables, you go well, red to red, black to black, and then on the other side of your cables, just ground it off to your engine bolts or anything, as long as you have ground on them, and then put your red positive cable thing onto your starter, and it should spark and it should crank it over because you're giving it 12 volts directly. So it'll be the same thing as this, just with cables, if you guys don't have these probe things, but you can do it with cables as well, any jumper cables. So I think it might be my starter that's bad. Let's take off the battery. So let's take out the battery. Then we'll leave these bolts here, and then to take off the starter, we're gonna have to take off this cap right here, because there's the little starter in there, so you're gonna have to take off this cap. So let's take it off. So it's gonna be a cap, and then it's just gonna be this gear, which so when the starter is engaged, that little gear thing will make the whole crankcase turn over, and then that's what makes your engine start. So if that starter motor isn't spinning, it won't crank over the engine as well. I don't think it'll fit the other way, so it's just this way. So you can't, just make sure you guys put this teeth in first, so I can grab onto this, and then these teeth will grab onto the starter right here. So we'll do that. We'll take off this little tooth, and it's a cap, just a little cap on the bottom. And then to loosen this up, you're gonna take off the starter. So there's gonna be 2 bolts. So one bolt is gonna be, it's kind of hard to see, it's gonna be like, I don't know how to tell you guys, I don't know if you guys can see, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like right there. Can you guys see my finger? Maybe it would, right there, there's gonna be one bolt right there, and then the other bolt, maybe you guys can see from up here, the other bolt is right there where that black cap is at. It's right underneath it. You can't really see it, but like you guys can barely see right there, maybe right there where my finger's at. There's 2 bolts, okay guys? So there's only 2 bolts for the starter, and then you guys should be able to take it out by hand after that. So grab it from here, from the little grooves that I was talking about earlier. You guys see those top grooves now, and then you guys can probably wiggle it out, or if not, you can probably get like a little screwdriver and then just pry it right there, and then pry it that way. You see how it came out? Easy. It came out of the grooves inside, like you see those grooves already came off. That's all. And then once I take it off, I'm gonna show you guys how to test it. So so we can test it with some cables to make sure that is our culprit to this whole thing. So with the 10, with a 10 we can loosen that up right there. Maybe a 10. Pretty sure it's a 10. So we'll loosen it up right now. So I was saying with this little, I think it's a 10. Yeah, it's a 10. So right there. But it fell. It fell on me. You just disconnect the little disconnect the ground wire that's going with it. It's right here. Disconnect the ground wire, and then you guys should be free from all that right there. So probably not gonna be able to take it off. So just move this wire out of your way. Move it out the way. See what we can do. So it's right there. So maybe it'd be better if just getting the pipe out of the way, getting this exhaust pipe out of the way, but I didn't want to. I was being lazy, so I was gonna see if I could just get it off like that. Probably not though. There's probably no chance of me getting it out. So let me go on the other side, see if I can figure something out on the other side. So okay, maybe this way. Here, let's pry it a little bit. Push it out. We'll pry it up and then push with the other hand. Maybe not. No, it doesn't want to. I'm gonna probably have to take off. I'm gonna have to probably take off the exhaust or something. I don't want to. Yeah, because it doesn't want to come off. The gear thing's still in there. So we're most likely gonna have to at least take off maybe the chain, the cam chain tensioner, maybe. I'm not sure yet. See if I can get it just one more time. Maybe prying it open. It wants to budge a little bit. No, I guess not. Maybe we're probably gonna have to do all that. Take off this carburetor and see if taking this carburetor is gonna be enough. So let's do that. So let's take off this air box as well. This air box, I took it off. Okay. Okay. So there. Probably not gonna be enough. I'm probably gonna have to take off this this cam chain tensioner off to get that off, most likely. So let's do that. So we'll take off this cam chain tensioner. So alright, cool. Just two bolts, and then we should be able to take it off now. I'm pretty sure we should. Let's pry it up now. Push it out. Let's see what's blocking it on the other side. What's blocking these return lines? These oil return lines. Is what's blocking that cam chain. I mean, what's blocking that starter to come out. See? See if I can. No. It's not gonna come out. Ah, that kind of sucks. Probably gonna have to take off those return lines on it. So this is one, two right here, and 3. You'd have to take those off. So so these are the bolts that you gotta take off. This one, and this one. So let's take those off. So with the 12mm, take that off. I'm just gonna loosen them up. I don't have to take it off. I don't think yeah, I'm gonna have to take them off. So let's take this one. I don't think I'm gonna have to take this one off. Just need to take off this one. So be careful when you guys do, because it comes with a washer, like a copper washer, one right here and then underneath as well. So make sure you guys don't lose that. So you have 2 copper washers. So I already loosened this one up. And just be careful with those washers, because they're like copper. Yeah. Yeah, see that? This one will go right there, and then this one. Make sure you guys don't lose that. Boom. Then should be able to. Well, take this one off too. So I don't know if you guys can see. Boom. So this is the return line, and now we should be able to take off the starter now. What? Yeah, cool. We were able to take it off now. Cool. So we'll go from the other side. We'll go to the other side. And then right here, we got the free starter now. So we'll try to take it off through here. See if we can do this. See if we can take off the air box. See if it'll fit through there. Cool. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. So cool. Go, go, go. So this is the starter. So I think this is what I think that's wrong with it. Right now we'll test it with some cables right there. We'll test it with some cables. We'll see what it does. So let's go ahead and test it. We'll go red to red, black, black to the black battery. And then on this side we'll do black to the ground right here. Cool. And then red, we just put it to our thing right there, and if it spins, it means the starter's good, but if it doesn't spin, the starter might be bad. So let's give it a try, see what it does. So okay, cool. You see that? So that is the starter. I mean, the starter works. So our starter's good. So that means something else is bad, because our starter works. It spins perfectly fine. So I'm not sure why it would do that. It looks good. So our starter does work. So we got to figure out why it's not spinning inside the engine. So we might have a cable loose or something inside. So let's figure that out. Alright guys. So since you guys saw that the starter wasn't the problem, so I put it back on, and then I checked all my connections. So what I saw, I put everything back on, right? So what I saw, that was my ground right here, my ground to the post. It was loose when I first took it off, but I didn't really think anything of it. So now that I tightened everything up, see, I cleaned everything. I already put the bolt back on, I mean the starter, and now I put the return lines on. I'm still gonna leave all this loose just in case we don't get anything. I put the little starter gear back on. I tightened up my cam chain. I did all my grounds, this ground too, the ground right here. I tightened everything back up. I put the carburetor back on. So so let's choke it now and see what we get now. So I'm gonna give it a little gas since the carburetor hasn't been in there. So key on, neutral light on, off. Let's see now. Oh shit. Back to the same problem. Back to the same problem. So what can it be? What can it be? So it did turn over for a bit, but it doesn't want to turn over anymore. So now it's doing the same thing again. What can it do? What can it be? So let's check if I left anything loose. Let's see. Let's see. No, this ground's tight. The ground over here, is that tight? That's pretty tight. There's nothing that I see that I left loose, obvious. What could it be? What could it be? The other thing that I can think of, maybe, even though I get 12 volts to this battery, I think it might be the battery that's bad, even though I'm getting 12 volts. So let's test it again, make sure we get 12 volts. So we'll put it right here. We'll get one lead to the black and one lead to the red. So lead there, lead to the red. Yeah, you see, we're getting 12 volts now, guys. So the only thing I can think is maybe the battery is bad, the starting amps. So what I'm gonna do is that I have another battery for this motorcycle. So what I'm gonna do is switch the batteries over and see if it does anything. So let's do that. So I put this new battery on. So I just connected everything back on. So let's see what it does now. So keys on, everything's on. So see what it does. Turn it off real fast. So I honestly think it might just be the battery, because I just put on a new battery. Even though it's giving me 12 volts, I think it might just be the battery, because I just put on a new battery and it starts up like nothing. So let's give it another try. So turn off the switch, turn on the switch, and see if it does again. Yeah, you see. So I think it was just the battery, to be honest, or maybe that little post down there, the post for the starter, one of those. But I believe it might be the battery, that's the starting amps on it is no good anymore, so it won't crank the engine over anymore, which is super weird, right? Something done like that can cause like a headache on this kind of, because I've looked through everything already. I've looked up a lot of stuff and no one has the right answer to it, and everybody changes something different in their motorcycle. So so hopefully that helps you guys with that problem. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.